Okay.
Okay, so hey guys, we will start to talk about the Android implementation of the UI builder. You all see my screen?
אולי אין לך דרך לחבר את זה?
Yes.
אולי בחדר ישירות?
לא
משנה.
No. Okay, so
מאוחר מדי. HDMI?
Okay,
אבל הוא
so
יקליט את זה? טוב, לא משנה.
okay, so basically, you saw the as you saw last week, the UI builder in the web client. I'm showing you now the implementation that I did on the Android side of how the JSON is received and how the data is being displayed. I will start. Basically, I have like all the models of the Zap screens. Basically, we have like the Zap screen. Here you can see like a Zap screen has like a screen name, screen ID, styles, and every screen has like a list of UI components. Currently, there are like several component types that we support, which is list, grid, the ticker, view, carousel, and we have.
It's a recycle view or
No, not yet. I used the composite. I did an adapter. So we have. I created something that is called like a screens manager. It holds all the Zap screens that we have in the app. First time we're loading the screens, we're receiving a list of screens from Zap. There is like a JSON loader for the Zap screens. We only load it. We'll load it in the intro when the app is. If the app is using the template of the UI builder, you can see it in the generic intro activity. After we get all the screens, we initialize the screens manager with the screens. I save them for like if you restart the app. Like from save state or something, I save the screens locally, so later I will be able to retrieve them. And basically, the screens manager has like a couple of methods. There is the initialization, there is the get screen from ID, and you get like the component metadata that we are currently using for our components. That it's like the adapter that we have for our current implementation of the components.
Can you explain what do you mean? You're using the current component data, but you adapt it to your implementation?
We get the JSONs from Zap. And then we need like to transfer the JSONs to our current JSONs that we are using in the templates.
And I mean, are there any differences between this metadata and that metadata? I mean,
yeah, they're completely different.
I don't mean the structure. I mean, data that you can put on the old components metadata and you cannot put on the new one?
Currently, there are some things that we don't have in the new metadata, but we try to narrow it down to some basic things that.
Yeah, because the previous one was a monster.
Well, yeah, it was a monster, but there are some things that we don't. I don't think that we really need. Maybe we will change the.
Cool.
So what about updates?
What do you mean by updates?
If I want to update something new related to the metadata for specific clients, for example, the show bar, refresh bar.
No, it's something that.
How we can handle it?
It's not something that we can only change like the cell styles and the layout families. Maybe it's a configuration that I'm not sure where it will come from, but it's a configuration that we will probably have maybe in the layouts.
If it's a configuration that is related to the component, the component are like plugins. So in general, you can edit and add the abilities to a component. But the only way for you to add data is via the manifest. And the manifest creates the form on the Zap UI builder, and these are the only changes you can do. There are no manual changes to the API. So the current implementation is what you have, and if there is a need for extra features, like I don't know, if you want to say you want to add an attribute on the carousel, the time of I don't know, that it automatically scrolls. So it should be added to the manifest of the carousel component, and then it need to be configured. It's something that you need to add in the component level, in the manifest and in the component code itself.
What was your question exactly? You asked for which specific?
We have a refresh button.
In a component, in a cell style?
No, it's in JSON.
No, but is it a component
We
or
configure it in the JSON.
Yeah, but is it a component?
No.
Cell style.
It's not cell style.
It's something related to the
Related to the screen.
So it's a screen configuration. It's also something that can be done. If you go to Sergey, go 1 second to the UI builder.
Yeah.
To the Zap. I will show it in 1 second and then we'll continue. Doesn't matter. Let's go to, doesn't matter which one. Just go to the screens. So show them the screen modal view, the settings. Doesn't matter which screen. You have the settings. And here there are currently some attributes, and we can add whatever attributes are relevant for a screen. So this is how the configuration will be. And in the JSON file, you will receive each object in the JSON file is a screen. Each screen has attributes and has a list of UI components. That's it. Let's go back to the code. So basically, what I'm saying is that you have 2 levels of, or let's say 3 levels of configuration: screen level, component level, cell style level. Okay, that's basically what you can configure in a screen. This is the drill down. Ella, you can continue. Sorry.
Okay, so then we have a class called the Components Manager, which is currently the adapter that it takes the Zap screen and then it creates all the components metadata that we're currently using. I mean, it sets all the collection type, data source types, all the current. Currently we have the composite or the tab swipe. So we're using them, and basically like creates a list, creates a component metadata field with all the UI components that we have. Like we have a method that is get component, and we're using, we have like all the types of the components, and for every component we have like the metadata that we're using. You can show like we have some new component that I added, which is a section picker, which was like the tabs that you can have in show screen. So like you have the, I check the UI component type. If I see like if I have the screen section picker, then I like set the component type section picker. You have inner metadata, which is for the list or for the grid. Currently, we have like we check. I check if it's a tablet or a smartphone, then we use like or a grid or a list.
The inner metadata can be composite. I mean, it should be only grid or list.
Yeah, it should be only. It's not a composite. It's not a. It's like it can be. It's below it. It's or a list or a grid.
Okay.
And it's considered like a header. And we have well, we have something that is like set with the component style, which is basically the style styles that we have. Currently, we have only for one family, so we only support only one cell style, so we can we have all the cell styles for family one. So we just we receive here like the cell style of thumbs up, and then you just put it as a cell style. So how in the end, when the app now, when you start the Zap app, the flow.
One second, please. So basically, let's say that if you want to refactor the entire layout, basically we can delete this proxy, sort of.
Yeah.
Like
so we can.
Once
if
we
want
the API, we can skip this part that is just doing the conversion between the new implementation to the old.
If we want to get rid of it, yeah.
I didn't understand. Can you repeat again, please?
I'm saying that this is a proxy. All this manager, it's actually an adapter. It's an adapter from the new JSON to the old implementation, or the old JSON implementation. So
Yeah.
if we will want to work directly with the API, we can basically remove this part and then just change it in the component.
And then return but all of our current components are using the components metadata, so
yeah,
we'll need to maybe rewrite the components that are using the component metadata and use a different thing. So basically now the flow is that when you start an app, it was like I showed you here. You run the JSON. There is the River JSON loader. You run it in the. It runs in the generic interactivity, which is inside the generic. Then we check if it's a UI Builder app, UI Builder template app or not. If it's not, then you start the current flow. If it is, then you have then you load the data, then initialize the springs. And after that, we have like there are several places that I can show you maybe that you get like the Zap screens. I added it. Get screen. Okay, we added also a screen ID. It's a unique identifier in the CMS for every screen instead of the UI tags, so we're no longer using them. And this is how we can specifically identify every Zap screen there.
Yeah, but it's not unique. The important part is it's not unique.
It's unique per screen, no?
It's unique per screen, but not per content. So think about it. You have a show screen. All the shows supposed to have the same ID.
Yeah. And now if I like click on, I added like a method that is get generic set for Zap API, which instead of how we used to initialize the generic fragment with the UI tag and getting the JSON from there, now we're getting a Zap screen. We're getting the components metadata from the Zap screen that we got, and then we just use it as we used it with the JSON metadata, and we initialize the fragment this way. Also, I mean, in the composite, in the composite list layout, now instead of when we used to have our cell styles, as you remember, we had like a wrapper. Let's see, these are the new ones. Yeah. So we used to have something like this with like lots of view stubs. And every view stub was very similar, but with small changes. So now what I did is having like a wrapper for every. I still stayed with the wrappers, but that you only have a single layout, a single cell style. I'd say that layout 01, grid 01. And you use it like grid 01. And I still have the view stubs, but all of them are inflating the same layout 01, 01.
So why we need all of it? It's inflating the same?
No, it's
to support.
Yeah, I didn't delete that logic. I stayed with what we had, but everything inflates like the same one. So now if you remember, we had something that was like component utils, where we were inflating like everything. So I added something like this, that we will support like all the new, let's say, cell styles. I mean, you have, and instead of
so just gave each element the same name.
Yeah, but you can like now currently it's and we have like a cell style, and it has like a different different behavior for the type of the data, that if it's a VOD or if it's an atom, then you like need to do some different thing accordingly. Later we will want to have it like a JSON configuration and have it more generic. But currently I just did it like this way, that you will have you set a different configuration for every cell style, and then depending on the type of the item, then it changes like the views, and it uses like different. You have like a share instead of a play, and
But when I write the cell XML, I don't have to do one for VOD, and then its image view will be named VOD image view. It will be a generic name for
No,
each
you
type.
cannot. I think
you can.
but it's in the same component. You will have the same ID.
There is no problem with that.
When you find you're trying to find an ID.
It works. What do you mean by the same component, same IDs?
No, if you inflate few items with the same ID, with the view style.
Yeah, I didn't tackle the problem. I mean, you have. I inflate this.
Why should it be a problem?
Yeah, I mean.
Because you have multiple IDs.
What's the difference between
No.
having two votes in the list? And
Maybe it will be okay.
Not two votes, like one vote, one.
With the same name.
atom.
Okay, but what's the
No, but
difference between that and
they are in the same view style. But if you try, okay, it's okay.
But we fixed the method that populates it
Yeah,
to give. I fixed it long time ago. This is why, if you will see, the native shell was only one ID for all of them. Okay,
Yeah.
all the new properties are only one,
Yeah.
because I fixed it. So when it is being populated, not the stub, not the parent, the wrapper,
Yeah.
but the child is the one that is being sent to the populate method. Okay, and the child is only one and only, void child or atom child or whatever.
No, but still inside.
You don't have cell
have
inside cell. You don't have cell inside cell. You don't have.
it's only one piece of
The cell is the edge one, and the edge element. Only the cell has
We
this
had this
data,
problem.
and I fixed it long time ago. Oh, it's not something new.
so
Sergey,
yeah,
can you like, let's do it a little bit differently. Let's explain, like, after you finish the overview, I want you to like guide us, for example, how to add a cell style, how to add a family of cell styles, and how to create a new component, for example. Then I think it will cover everything that you.
yeah. Okay, so basically, let's say, I mean, here you see that you handle like you do different. You change the configuration of the cell style depending on the type, and if let's say if we want to have like a new cell style, or a new cell style, then what we need to add is first, I mean, currently we have only the layout 01. We need to add first the XML for the cell style. We should use like one of the existing XMLs to keep the same IDs, because all these IDs are being used for all the cell styles. So it's like in the components util, I have here something like this. I change it like when I inflate the cell, then I get all these IDs. These are like default IDs that we're using for all the cell styles currently. So basically, you need to add like an XML. Let's say we can have like a grid 03 or something, and then right now, let's see if we have like here, have this name. No, this one. Then I'll show you here. This is the if you have the code. No, not this one. Then let's say carousel. This is the mapper. You can see it in the code. Okay. No. No, I want to see it in the. I will show you. We have the component. Having the component styles. Currently, we have all the cell layouts. They are currently here. So you will need like to add, let's say, your new style here, but currently it's only a layout 01, but later there will be a way like to add different layout families. But here you add another enum and add another name for your component for your cell style, which will be the same in Zap. And in the components manager, currently we have here this method that we will need like to add. Well, currently it's only for family 1, but here you can have check like if it's a new specific cell style, then you just add here the line, and then in the component utils, right now you will need to add like here a different handling for your specific cell style. And in the handling also you should handle all the different types, different data types. And about a component.
Wait, what if I want to add now a family? I want to add family 2. How do I do that? Let's say it's
Okay,
a completely
so family,
new styling.
Yeah. For family 2, I would first use all. I mean, we need to have all the current cell styles that we have for family 1 correctly. We need to have like the same number of cell styles per family. Or we can have like fewer.
No, it could be less, but let's say that we have a fixed amount that these are the minimum. Let's say that what you created for layout 1 is the minimum number of cell styles that you need for when you create a new family.
Okay, so currently you will need like to have you will need to add into the generic the XMLs for the family 2. Later we maybe plan to maybe move it to a different.
We will remove it to a different repository that will contain only this XML.
Yeah. First, you need like to add create all the XML layouts for all the family, the layout 2 and the cell styles. Then you have to write a wrapper for every cell style for that family, Maybe we can get rid of that later also, but currently it works with the wrapper. And then you will have to add it in the code. And right now it uses only the family one, but we'll have an option in the code to have like to get a specific, maybe to parse the layout name and add to it the cell style name. And then all you have to do is add a specific handling for your here. It will have like you will need to add like a specific handling for your family, but in the component utils currently it uses only for family one, but you can have in the populate icons there will be an option to change it by the family type. So also you have for the family too, there is also the components themselves that have like the base, how is it called? Say composite component. In the components themselves, you have the standalone. Let's see. And the standalone. Okay, here. For every component also has a layout, so that it inflates. So there is also
but the layout of the component related to the cell style?
No, it's also.
So why do you choose it by the family?
The component.
For example, carousel 1 or something.
Yeah, you have a layout for the carousel.
The cell style is the
No, it's the cell. It's the cells themselves. You also have the layout for the carousel.
like this one.
No, it's list one.
No,
list two is,
it's like the carousel wrapper that you have.
yeah,
List one, list two, yeah.
or a web view, or the full screen tabs, or I mean,
So
here.
it's by family?
Yeah, it's also by families. Currently we have, I added some default ones, but this is for the composite. We have the.
But what will be the difference between the families in the composite?
It's like I think it would be more like basic rules that we have, maybe for padding and I don't know, spacing and things like that. I don't know, it will be like adding more rules. Or,
The padding is fixed.
But the rules is not
change.
Yeah, I don't think you need to put the component itself as part of the family. It's only for the cell styles.
Not accurate. You can have, for example, different styling of a component. Let's say that I have one component. Okay, I have a carousel, and I want one time to use, I don't know, and one with like, what can I say about a component? I wanna have margin from the screen, okay, of the entire component, and I don't care about the cell style. I want a specific margin of the component from the screen. So this is a
But it's
parameter. It's a parameter.
yeah, but you need to add parameters in the rules or something. It's not related to the cell styles, the family.
You have
As far
you
as
have
I say.
you have on the component, depend on the component, you have a parameter that is called layout, and it should define the component layout. If it should be using the family, I don't know. We need to
I think not.
think
Okay.
about it.
No. Well,
I think the family is more for example, the position of the page indicator.
Yeah, but it's
On
part
one
of
carousel,
the.
it's in the bottom, and one it's the top right. You cannot make a rule for it because it's a complex repositioning. So you need different style for it.
so you can have a different layout maybe instead of having a family for the
Instead of using it the family, you can call it a
Yeah.
layout, and it should be called layout one.
layout 1, layout 2, layout 3.
Yeah, layout one is I don't know
It's more
indicators on the.
the positions inside the.
It's semantic, but I can accept it.
Yeah. Okay. So regarding a new component, currently we don't have like something that is fixed, but we plan to have it like plugins. But will we have the components that all the components will have to be in the generic run? Do you think?
When we will have an API, it will be like a real API. It will be different. But for now, let's say that tomorrow you want to develop a new component. I don't know, a horizontal swipe. How do you do that? How do you add it to the code? What are the steps?
On iOS, you have an API. You have the component factory, and each component implements an API, and basically it is very easy to create a new component.
Okay, first, now we have this up the UI components. We add a new component type, which will be here. Then we need also to have the same component type in the component metadata. Okay, so here we will need to add a new type, a new component type, like here that I added. And after that, we will need to have, like let's say, we will need to have if it has a layout.
It's a generic fragment.
No, not the generic. No, I mean something that we can fit inside the
Generic
currently.
fragment, no?
No, currently in the composite. It's not related to the generic
Not
activity.
standalone.
No. So, like in the the top section picker, the section picker. Like I added the section picker component. And you use the same as it's standalone.
It's standalone, and it can be installed in the generic.
In the generic as itself. You add the component itself. You can have, for now I use you have the cell, let's say, some layout.
לעשות ככה. כן, עשו את זה קצר, עכשיו זה קצר. יש פה עוד צפות.
You have some like you have a layout for the new component, and then you will have to have like to add the specific handling for this new component to the generic, which is to the composite list. And then in the composite list, you need to have like a specific, let's say if you have some loading and that you have to edit for this component. Let's say in the get view. Let's say that we have a new component. We add this specific component here. It has the holders and all the information that it needs. And we just call this, and I mean the data loaded, and I mean whatever the component should do, it should, like if it's a tabs, then it has like tabs, and it has all the logic here. So let's say if it was like a horizontal swipe list, then maybe it should have been like a different, maybe a list view that we would put, horizontal list view.
Cycle.
No, it's not a recycler yet. So, I mean, there is a horizontal list view maybe that we could use instead and inflate it.
No, we can't use this.
We have recycled.
No, I mean, right now,
No, no buggy. We are using it, but it's not both horizontal.
אבל זה יכול בשנייה.
The
okay, so
horizontal was example. It doesn't matter. We just need to see how you add a new component. That's
yeah.
Just
I mean, you have to add it currently to the composite. You have to add the implementation of the component, but after you have it, so
we should add the adapter to this component with the implementation.
you should have a new type, and then you should have two types. One in the component metadata that you currently have, and one in the UI components of Zap that we're using. The layout, if it's needed, and I'm not sure it can use.
How do I edit things up? Let's say
You cannot add
with the manifest in the future with the manifest.
I will show next week how you add it. It's using a manifest. Currently, it's manually adding. It's not like using the Zapifest. It's a little bit different, the manifest. And also, it will require a review by one of our team because it requires also adding images and screenshots and etc. So, but basically, it's a manifest that determines the parameters that this carousel should have, and it includes also screenshots and preview images, and it's a little bit different than the regular plugin. I will show exactly next week. It's like it will be the second part because it will take me some half an hour or something, so I prefer to keep it for next week. But basically, it has two threads that need to work on parallel. One is to add the code, and the second one is to add it to Zap.
Yeah, so basically that's it for now.
No, but in Zap you will need to develop it in both platforms. You can't add like
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
In Zap, it's a manifest for you should have both platforms implementing the same component. Yeah.
You must do it.
If we finish on one and not on the other,
so you
okay.
can.
No,
No.
you have to finish both. They cannot use it on. I
You
mean,
will build something that won't work.
yeah,
If
then
it-
you
If it's a work in progress, it's something that we can think about how you can use it. But I'm talking about now a scenario that it's like deployed.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need to deploy it in Zap in order to
No, but maybe I don't know. There is some components that maybe will be only in Android or only in iOS.
we don't differentiate. No. The layout should currently all components should have both. Which component in which app we have different components?
No, I'm just thinking loudly.
We have different components.
We don't.
Yeah, why you don't?
Wait.
Maybe
Which one?
it was a difference.
iPad.
No iPad at the time.
Very
No.
different.
No. Between
I'm talking
OS
between iOS and Android. We don't have.
iPad
Our-
we have different components that we don't have in Android.
but talked about Baby.
No. Channel 20.
refreshed.
Reshet.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's
So it's it's
Yeah,
it's abnormality. It's abnormality.
it's not good.
איזה,
אני אראה לך.
okay.
איך קוראים
So basically, it's one
לא זוכר. לא מכיר.
Wait, I didn't hear what Ron say. Say again.
No, I said okay. We will have same components in both platforms.
Yes, we should have the same components on both from. We are not planning differentiation.
And what about Zap in terms of iPad and
So the iPad, this is something like, for example, when you choose a list as a list, it's not exactly a list on iPad. So it's a grid. So like the naming is a little bit different. We are planning to create one component that will be a list, and a grid will be one component, and what will basically the cell style will define how it looks. But a list is a grid with one column. So like when you choose the list, it has a specific UI in tablet. Like you choose a component, you know how it looks on tablet and how it looks on smartphone.
okay.
It's not exact like if you choose a list, it's not exactly a list. It's a grid on tablet or iPad or whatever. So yeah. We are not going into separating. It's a decision that we took because first I don't see a lot of added value to differentiate, and second it involves a lot of configuration if you want to separate. Like then you will need a different data source for an iPad and different data source, and then we are going back again to the same configuration mess that we have in the current implementation. So it was a decision. It was on purpose.
And we have demos,
What do you mean by that?
environment. If I want to add a new component to test it, I don't know.
So currently we don't have, but it's something that we plan to do. Basically, what we are planning to do is to create a visual interface that will allow you to add component and add cell styles and add cell style family, and then you will have some sort of a playground to play with. And this should solve what Reuven was asking about. Oh, I don't know if it was Reuven. This was solve. It will solve the if like you have a component that is not ready yet on iOS and it's ready on Android, and you want to test it, for example. So this is in our roadmap for either this quarter or the next one.
Okay, so basically, I mean, I plan to have like something that is we plan to have the maybe JSON configuration for the cell styles later. So it will be like in the iOS as well, that you will be able to configure all the items of the cell styles that they will be.
Can you show me one cell style?
No, it's right now they're very similar to what we have.
One problem with the configuration right now,
Which is
that we can't define the size of the cell style is defined the size.
Defining its size.
And you can't use the same cell style with different size.
With different sizes. But you mean the height and the...
What do you mean?
When
usually we put aspect ratio. Never mind, aspect ratio, size or
but
something.
it's not...
If the cell is bigger, then probably the text is bigger. I don't see lots of cases when you use the same cell, but in different
No, but
aspect ratio.
the text you define comes up.
Yeah, but it's the same cell.
But the size you define comes up. The cell size.
But you define it for specific cell style. Cell style.
Okay, cell style.
Currently, you need to define more than one if you want different sizes. But we are thinking about something
Maybe
that
to
will
add,
be.
I don't know. Maybe it will be part of the manifest. I don't know.
No, not the manifest. I mean, there should be a configuration for the cells.
It's a configuration for.
I define my configuration for the cell style in the manifest, for example.
No, and when you define the screen, you select the cell style.
You select a cell style, it predefines from a list, and maybe what we can add, for example, I don't know if you will do that, but let's say you will be able to choose the same cell style, like with image with different aspect ratio,
No,
and it will look a little bit different.
Size.
Height, you mean?
Height and aspect ratio.
I don't know. It's a decision that needs to be done, like if it's a different cell style or not, because I'm not sure that as a user that is building the screen, I really want to go that deep, like to define the height of the, in pixels.
We'll have endless cell style because of the sizes.
It's not endless. It's something like, I don't know, 15, 20. But yes, it's something like that. It's not endless, but yes, it's a long list.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of same style with different size. That's the only thing.
Every update I can think about.
What?
Do we have
if cell style same size?
Yeah, I mean, do we have any app that has different sizes of the cell styles?
No, but you have many apps that use the same cell style.
Yeah, so it's okay. I mean,
but in different styles.
Why? Which app do we have that uses different
cell style for another template?
Look, what we currently have. The cell styles that are in use in the current templates are not good enough because they are not full, so they are not an example. When you are creating like a cell style family, and you create multiple cell styles, what you will need to create is a full, complete cell style, like with all the buttons or with all the options. Currently, the cell styles are not covering all the options. So what we will add, for example, for cell styles is a contextual menu, because let's say you want to put 5 different buttons in a grid that has 2 columns, it doesn't fit. So you'll have a button that will open like a contextual menu or something like that. So the current cell styles are not really a good example. of what could be done. But yes, we're thinking to create maybe less cell style that you can define different aspect ratio and these kind of things, but I don't know if we will do that. We haven't made a decision yet. It's like,
No,
it's
maybe to use now, I don't know, I think to use, for example, in the TV, to use ZAP to define I need the dimensions or something, and connect
again,
with the cell style.
again, it's a question of if we want to add more configuration to the user, or we want to say to the user, these are your options and choose from this pool. This is the question that you need to decide what to do. Cool. We are out of time, so Sergey will provide in this week or next week documentation. All this will be written, and I also want to do some tutorials, like, you know, short videos of how adding a new component, new this, but we will publish once it will be published. Once this is done, I really welcome you to write new components, and if you can, in the regions or new cell style families or whatever.
I'm doing it now, but I'm doing it manually right now.
Yeah,
Using
but you're also doing it for Android TV, so it's a little different.
Doesn't matter. It's component.
It matters. It matters because there is currently no configuration in the CMS that allows you to use it. But if you do it for a component that is on the Android smartphone and tablet, then it can be used tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's it. Any other question?
No.
Cool. So thank you, Sergey, and thank you everyone. And I will publish the video. So
כמה דקות, יש לי כמה שאלות אליך לגבי הזאפ, טיפי וכאלה.
אליי אתה מדבר? מי אתה מדבר? האמת שעכשיו אין לי זמן.
אני צריך לך כמה 6 שעות ככה.
אני עמוס עד 12 השעון שלי, עוד שעתיים אני פנוי, אם בא לך.
סבבה. דבר איתך עוד שעתיים.
טוב. יאללה. Thank you everyone.
ביי.
ביי.